Now, a concert featuring a classical saxophone duo, Element, which includes Emma Jones from Chippenham, is taking place this evening. Element, who started playing together at the beginning of 2014, are made up of local girl Emma, a fourth-year undergraduate from the Birmingham Conservatoire, and recent graduate Ellie Parker. Since teaming up, they've taken part in the, wait for this, Scandinavian Saxophone Festival in Denmark. I know, amazing, which involves young saxophonists from across Europe, and they're about to release their first album, which focuses on living composers. So what about Emma? It all began for her here in Wiltshire after playing with the Corsham Wind Band before progressing to the National Youth Orchestra of Great Britain. But before all that, it started at Sheldon School in Chippenham.
I started at Abbeyfield and then moved to Sheldon for sixth form. And I started playing the saxophone when I was about 8 years old, when I was at King's Lodge in primary school. So a little while ago now, 14 years. It's been a battle, but it's been great.
So did they have them just ready for you to try it at the school, or was it just the time you were there you got into it?
Not quite. I actually went to the Corsham Wind Band, and they had an open day, and I really just wanted to play the saxophone. My heart was set on it, and I tried it, and it made a sound, which was great, so my parents let me bring one home, and it just kind of progressed from there, really. So
it's the sort of thing that, you know, you get into saxophone, but to want to have to play it in the first place, was there any kind of influence, any personal influence to you, or anything like that?
I know that my granddad was very musical. He used to play the organ and sing. I don't know why the saxophone. I think I heard the sound of it, and it was kind of just really a cool instrument that I wanted to play. And as I found out more about it, my heart was like, yes, this is the right thing. So
secretly, I wanted you to say Lisa Simpson was your inspiration.
I don't know, I think that might have been in my mind as well. Yeah, definitely.
And of course, some classics. I love the sound of things like, it's an obvious one, but Baker Street and Van Morrison tunes that have the saxophone. It's got a very distinctive sound, hasn't it?
Yes, it definitely does. I mean, it's more well known for jazz, which is great. I love listening to jazz, but my interests lie more on the classical side, I guess, and that's what we're doing with our tour and CD now, actually. So
okay, let's go back briefly to Sheldon and how you sort of progressed. What sort of music did you bring to the people of Sheldon?
I guess there was a few. You got involved with the saxophone students at Sheldon, so we were in a saxophone choir. There's about 7 of us. That was really cool. And I did a few things with some A-level people who played piano and sang, and we just kind of made little bands together and that kind of thing, and just had a lot of fun with it, really, which is the main thing for me.
So when you went on to further education, is that when you sort of thought, well, actually, this is something I really want to make a go of doing this as a career?
Yeah, definitely. I only found out about conservatoires, music colleges, just under a year before I went there, and I don't think I realised it was something you could study to make a profession. It was more of a hobby, but at that point I decided, yes, this is it. And I'm just about to finish my degree now, so it's still something that I want to do, which is great.
So how long have you been studying in Birmingham?
4 years. This is my 4th and final year.
So I suppose it's like when people say they're studying PE or sports science.
Yeah.
Are you literally? You think you're probably just literally playing the saxophone the whole time?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, it's kind of. We study history of music and work on our listening skills and evaluation skills. But I practice every day, or I try to, for several hours, and that's the main thing, is progressing my playing, really. So.
How do you know when you've got that much better? Because do you sort of not think sometimes, oh, I'm pretty good, and then the next day think, I'm a tiny bit better? How do you know?
It's hard. You can go for, say, 3 weeks and feel like you haven't improved, and that's quite demoralising. But I try to record myself every few weeks and try and listen back, and you can hear it, even though when I listen to my own playing I don't. And going to see other people play, that's very inspiring, and you see how much further you've got to go, which is really important too.
Now, with it's Element, you've teamed up with Ellie. So how did you meet Ellie?
Ellie was in the year above me. She graduated last year with a first, which is really great. And we were friends a few months after I joined in first year. We became friends, and we started playing with each other, playing together last year, at the beginning of 2014. And it's been great because we play on our own a lot as saxophonists. We do a lot of individual practice, so playing together was a bit more fun and just something different. So.
And as I say, you've been to the Scandinavian Saxophone Festival in Denmark, which I just love.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal, isn't it?
Yeah, we went together actually, and yeah, we went for a week, and we flew to Denmark, and it was very exciting, a little bit scary, trying to find the right bus after the plane and all that kind of thing. But it was great. We were there were the only two English people there, and we played with people from Norway, Finland, and that was great because you get to see all these other people that have the same interests as you, and they're really great players too.
You get to travel a lot, and you've been to the proms.
Yes, I played at the proms in 2012 with the National Youth Wind Orchestra of Great Britain, which is that was like a dream. It was brilliant. It's such a beautiful place and really cool to play in, definitely.
So that's Emma Jones and Chippenham, one half of Element, who've got their concert tonight. We'll talk more about the concert and their tour and their new album in the next hour. But this morning we're also meeting the classical saxophonist Emma Jones from Chippenham, who alongside her musical partner Ellie Parker is playing tonight at the Cause in Chippenham. Now Emma is a fourth-year undergraduate from the Birmingham Conservatoire, but as we've already heard, it began for her back here in Wiltshire at Sheldon School and the Caution Wind Band as well. Now, before discussing tonight's gig at a venue, which, quite frankly, I should have noticed long before now, as it's slap bang in the middle of Chippenham, we talked about the girls' latest recordings.
Our new album is focusing on works by living composers. It's for two saxophones, so just me and Ellie, no piano or anything. A few tracks. One track has some electronics on, so it's like a digital delay, and another track uses a sound recording, a 5-second recording which loops. And the point of the CD is to, along with the tour, to bring this classical saxophone to people that haven't heard about it before, maybe, because it's something we're so passionate about, and it's quite a niche thing of the market. So the idea is that when we leave, we've kind of started working on things that we will be doing when we leave, so it's not a jump into kind of the professional world, I guess.
I was going to say, just sort of explain this classical saxophone.
When you look at an orchestra, you see the violin and you say, yeah, that's a classical standard instrument, and you see the clarinet and that's a classical instrument. But the saxophone isn't really, for example, in an orchestra very often. It was invented around 1836-37, so it's quite a new instrument. So people have written for it, but it's just more well known with jazz and music. So there's a lot of music out there, and I think if you look for it, there are classical saxophone concerts and things to see, but it's just not so well publicised, maybe. And yeah, that's kind of why we're doing it, I guess.
You said you're in Ellie in different years. Does that mean you're going to be in different places when it comes to making a career of this? And does that mean one of you is going to be studying while the other one's thinking, well, I need to be off touring?
Well, at the moment, she's teaching in a secondary school music. So I've still been studying, which is why, I don't know if you've seen the dates, the tours are on weekends, because we have to fit in with term time, which has been fun. She's very tired, I can tell you. But because she had that year out, we're both actually starting our masters in September. So it's not so much about being in different years. At the Conservatoire we do mix a lot, so first years we'll play with fourth years, and it's all about integration and just kind of playing together and bettering each other, I guess.
Now we're in a real sort of hidden gem here. I've driven past this probably 1 billion times. Slight exaggeration, but I probably took my driving test driving past here. But I've never been to this place, and it's even a new name to me, The Cause, isn't it?
Yes.
So what's it like to play in effectively a little church just off a main road?
Yeah, I've played in here before, and it's really nice acoustics. You can hear a slight echo when I'm talking. But,
I love it. It sounds great.
It's brilliant, and it's a lovely space. And they do lots of community singing here as well. And there's a few other rooms which they use as function rooms. And I think there's a Chippenham Town Band that play in one of the rooms just further out. So I think it is used quite a bit. Maybe it could be used more. So that's also why I'd like to use it. It's a great space to use.
I don't suppose you get to play much around here. Now you're a bit of a sort of growing local celebrity.
Yeah. I'm mainly in Birmingham most of the time, but when I come back I do like to... I played in St Andrew's Church as well, and that's great. It's nice to come back and play and to see people that I know from home.
Do you relax a bit more as well when you're playing here? Or less?
Maybe a little bit less, actually, because, I don't want to... I'm sure I won't embarrass myself, but it's just they know me and I don't want to let them down. So, it's nice, but it's a little more pressure, I'd say.
And for this particular concert, what kind of music can we expect?
It's a mixture of works from our new album and transcriptions, so pieces which aren't normally written for the saxophone. So there's some Bach transcriptions, there's a funky baritone saxophone duo at the end, which is really fun to play, it's really cool. So it's lots of music that we love to play and we hope the audience will love to hear.
I hate to make it sound like a job interview, but where do you see yourself in 5 or 10 years?
In 10 years, my dream is to play in an orchestra and just working, playing lots in quartets or maybe teaching. There's so many things I could do. But it would definitely be with the saxophone.
Well, there you go. She's certainly got the enthusiasm and the work ethic, I think, to make that happen too. That's Emma Jones from Chippenham, who's part of this duo who are going to be doing the concert tonight, Element. It's at the Calls in Chippenham, somewhere I've never been before. Lovely, lovely, tiny little church just off the causeway, slap bang in the centre of Chippenham. The start time for that is 7 o'clock, and I believe you can get tickets on the door as well, so there should be some available still. 7 o'clock, the Calls in Chippenham for the Element concert this evening.